We're back finally for season 2 of Podcast Club. So I'm your club president and host, Darian. We have also...
I'm Vice President Nicola.
And she also plays as co-host. And we got a new member with us today.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm the new girl.
So today we're gonna mainly be talking about the music eras mainly. Yeah. You know, the 90s music, the 20s. So first of all, which year do y'all think had the best music?
I don't know. There's a lot of years with some great music.
Like, it's like every year had their bad music and their good music. Because a lot of people have been saying the music so far have been turning bad, but you always have those few good songs every once in a while. And then y'all like the song Heat Wave?
By Glass Animals?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love that song.
It's so catchy.
It's so catchy and warm feeling. It just makes you feel all nice and gooey on the inside. But I also like the old R&B 90s music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do y'all think music have changed like over the years?
Oh yes, definitely. With all the new like production and you know the new producers coming out, a lot of stuff is changing. Mm-hmm. And also sampling has gotten, you know, a lot more used as of late to where some people think that it, you know, it's being overused.
Also, we got another member with us. We have Sean
Hey,
Perry.
what's good?
So we're trying. So, how do you feel like music changed over the years?
I feel like music has really become more of a popular conformist sort of genre, because nowadays you had rappers like Tupac and Biggie who rapped about where they came from, the struggles that they went through, and all of those types of things, and they were unfiltered, they were uncensored, they rapped about what was raw and emotional. Whereas nowadays you have people like J. Cole, who he wants to rap about how he feels and what he grew up with and all of that type of stuff, but mainstream media is forcing him to conform to rapping about the things that most other rappers rap about, which are like gang violence, sex, drugs, and money.
Oh yeah, the censoring for songs lately has been a little bit over the top a bit. Would y'all say? Like, have anyone
censoring?
I think with, you know, clean and radio versions nowadays, like in the 90s and the 2000s, you would, you know, be able to hear like a whole new song to cover up some of the censoring. But now it's just like random bleeps. And
Oh yes,
pauses.
I had heard a song on the radio, and I heard the clean version. All you hear was random scatters of words, and it was nothing but blanks because of all the cursing in it. And I'm all like, it's a good song. Like, you know how they have some popular party songs? They actually curse, and then the song I Don't Care, it actually has curse words in it. Mm-hmm. And it all, like, it just takes away from the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they even like fill in the actual words with like substitute words, and it just makes it sound so different. And, like, it kind of just like uses together. It's so odd, like the radio industry.
Oh yeah, at least it's not like the film industry that has a whole thing set up just to sue you over it. But people are still suing for music because they keep claiming everyone's copying off of each other. That's what music is, basically, because everyone's borrowing. As long as they're not saying the exact same words as you're doing, then it's not really copying.
And let's not even get started on the comic and cartoon community, because ever since like the 1920s, we went from characters like Betty Boop, Betty Boop. How do I say that exactly? I believe it's Betty Boop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She went from looking like the occasional flapper into looking more like the modern housewife. Like, the censorship with the comics and cartoons companies has become so very how do I say, over the top, that no one is confident in actually being what they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really just kind of absurd.
Oh yeah, I've
To be honest, from the 1900s to the 20s, for music, those were my favorite because it was like my mom R&B when growing up, but I also loved like the mid 2000s music because like 2010 all the way to like 2013. That was childhood nostalgia.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you hear like the song Counting Stars?
I think so, yeah.
That was the best song for me growing up, next to Ed Sheeran once I found. But also another thing that's peculiar with songs on the radio is that you always love this song, but they never really give you the name of the song, and you have to find it out later on, and you never really know who's singing it, to be honest.
No, but that can go into the voices nowadays, especially with R&B, as a lot of as we're becoming a lot more secular in the black community, and the church has a little less of an influence as it did in past decades. You're starting to get a lot of singers that didn't exactly grow up in church, singing in a choir, things like that. And when that does, it's kind of, dang it, what's the word? Kind of limit the amount of vocal training that one can get that isn't, from singing in a choir and things like that. And that's why we're missing so many of like the big voices. Like Whitney, Diana,
Beyonce. I think she started off at church too.
Yes.
I think that's where a lot of famous singers started off church, and the fact that people keep trying to attack church, especially church songs, is kind of offensive because that's where a lot of people started off. And I'm not talking about the slow gospel, although those are all good, because I came from Baptist church, and that's where you actually have to work those vocals. Like they had a lot of songs that would go stretching on for ever and ever and ever. Like they're just holding that one breath, and that's like training for all those people who actually have to pronounce their voice and still have to hold that long note.
Right. I feel like it's so easy for like people who are in the music industry today, like to get like famous, to earn clout, like just by using autotune and things like that.
Like, is autotune like bad though? Because I mean, it's not bad. It's
not exactly, but like, when it's used as like
enhancement.
If it's used as like the bass and not like the actual voice, then like that's when it gets a little like not so good.
But I think it adds an interesting experience to the song. Like, have you ever seen the videos where they do autotune and no autotune? It sounds very different, but you always get a different feel from the autotune. So I don't think it's like the baddest thing, but it's still admirable for people who could still use their voice and that natural talent, though.
Right.
It can be used as a voice effect in, some songs.
Yeah.
Like, I think the first one was Believe by Cher in 2000. And, you can use that as some sort of voice effect, but when you're actually substituting it for your own voice, that's where the problem starts to occur.
Yeah, it's because I'm pretty sure a lot of people get cultural shocks when they go to concerts and they're expecting the same type of voice that they heard from the radio that's full of autotunes. And then they hear this voice and it's a cultural shock. And, well, that might affect their rating opinions. So do y'all have any, like, favorite artists from the years, mainly?
From the years, you could probably even, like, go back to the 80s.
Right.
One of my favorite bands...
Oh, sorry. It's good.
Oh, we were talking about some of our favorite artists through the years. Do you have any?
Without a doubt, like I mentioned before, I would have to say Tupac, because I have a certain bias because of the fact that we share a birthday, but also because of the means through which he relayed his messages. Not only was he the type of person who was in the movie industry, but he was also just this artist that spoke about such raw themes and turned such negative words such as thug life into things that actually meant something else. We wouldn't have books like The Hate You Give if not for him relaying that message. And undoubtedly today one of my favorite rappers is J. Cole, because he just has that same sort of element to him. Like, he doesn't really care about conforming to what the mainstream wants him to. like he might do it every now and then, but he'll talk about how he doesn't want to, and he'll rap about things that are a little bit more raw and unusual than what you'll see other rappers of his genre talk about.
For me, now, I gotta say, is Ed Sheeran. Now that I'm actually proud that I can say I have a favorite artist. I like Chloe and Haley, Ed Sheeran. I mostly like the emotions and the feelings that their music gives, because I can't always hear the words well, but I like the merging of the music and the words together, and it gives you this scenery vibe that they present. And also, Ed Sheeran is mostly clean, and coming from a Christian background, I'm not a big fan of music that's full of curse words, and so it's easier to listen to. And I know Ed Sheeran is full of love songs, and a lot of people have been criticizing the increase of love songs, but it actually makes you feel like actually loved in his music, to be honest. Do you have like a favorite artist, Nico?
I really love 80s, 90s rock. I mean, some of them like are obviously originated like before the 80s and 90s, but I really love things like The Clash.
The Clash! I love The Clash.
Me too. Led Zeppelin, Pearl Jam, things like that.
The 80s was such a good genre for music and such a good era for music.
Such a good era.
That like everybody who came out of that era, their music still plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you can't get rid of some music.
Like when you think of the words golden oldies, you think of like the late 70s throughout the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all think any of the music from now is gonna like stick like the ones from the 80s?
Possibly some, like Renaissance by Beyonce. I think Beyonce's, like three
She's
albums.
an icon at this point.
Like, going from self-titled all the way to Renaissance. I think a lot of those songs will stick, especially some of her old ones too. Some of her older ones too.
Oh, some of her old ones are the most played ones
in history.
Yeah.
I honestly kind of feel the opposite about that, because like in my honest opinion, there are so many songs that are all about the same thing. They're all about love, they're all about sex, they're all about drugs, money, violence, gangs, and all of these different like categories. Like you can take any song nowadays and it's probably about one of those things. And
I think it's about who plays it the best at this point, because
Yeah.
even that's
Like-
where most people have to shine now.
But now you have the rise of social media in the late 2000s, and now you have platforms like TikTok and Instagram, and
YouTube.
a lot of songs have to be cut short in order to get them off the ground,
Right.
and you have to be a lot more played. So I think trying just to become famous has cut a lot of things short, like quality in the music industry.
Especially for TikTok shorts, because you only hear like that one lyric of the song, and you never heard the whole thing, and then everyone's displeased when you hear the whole song.
And let's just put it this way: as long as music of today tries to mimic music of the 80s and music of older times, we are never going to have the same amount. We are never going to have the same amount of good music and the same amount of memorable music as the 80s did, because like you see all of these songs that are trying to be like remixed, and all of these songs that are being redone. Like whenever they put like a dubstep beat onto Rocket Man, I absolutely hated it. I feel like that song did not need to be changed in any way, shape, or form.
The only place that could really do the remixes, and I know this is a little biased, but I think New Orleans is the best at remixing songs for bounce music, and actually people enjoy it because that's part of our culture, and they don't really hurt the music as much because it's meant for partying. But I think like other remixes, they have to really be careful because they're taking this like song and they have to represent it well. There's a few people on YouTube that I actually enjoy doing remixes for, and there's some people I can't because they took away from the originality of that song, and it doesn't just fit well anymore.
I I absolutely love bounce music. Like, I feel like bounce music actually adds on to the song by making you focus on the certain things, not only about the song, but about the beat behind it. Like, turning Adele's music into a bounce song not only puts you in your feelings when you listen to the music, but it really makes you want to bob your head and dance whenever you hear that beat.
But you have to understand, like, the remixes are, New Orleans is strictly bounce, but there's also house and, Chicago and Baltimore, and you have Jersey Club, and you have all these different, things that kind of just go back to hip-hop, to, dance, techno, and I think that's one of the, like...
Oh, yeah, techno is actually pretty good when people give it a chance. Okay, so with all our opinions about music, let's play a small game of, like, which you prefer, where we're going to put artists against artists, years against years, and certain songs against each other and see who will come out on top. So, Nicola, you want to start off? Like, asking, like, a verse versus who versus who?
Not sure it's...
Fine, I'll try. How about... no, I don't really think I should do that. How about J. Cole versus Kendrick Lamar?
Cole, by far.
I don't know. It's kind of it's a little bit of a toss-up for me because
they're both pretty good. They do have from the few songs I heard, they have different vibes the way they do their music, but they both kind of pull out the same message here. They're kind of even,
They are.
There's just something about J. Cole's voice that is more soothing to me and is more vibrant and really, like, out there than with Kendrick. Like, Kendrick's voice is just kind of... In some ways, it infuriates me because it just doesn't sound... Like
it's kind of shrill.
It's very shrill.
Would you say it's, like, kind of aggressive almost?
Yeah, a little bit. But, there's also... While we're doing this comparison, you have to, compare albums and singles too.
Yeah, and let's not take away from the fact that I absolutely love Kendrick, but the thing is he's just not somebody that I can listen to on a daily basis over and over again. Now, I listen to the 2014 Forest Hill Drives album on a daily basis consistently because there are just so many good things on that album. And J. Cole went double platinum on that album without a single feature, which has not been done since.
That's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, so how about, do y'all remember the artist Pink?
Oh, Pink, yeah. Yes.
I love her.
Okay, how about pitting her against another artist like, I guess, Taylor Swift?
I think you have to go Taylor Swift because even though Pink has had some hits like Raise Your Glass and things like that, Taylor has that kind of range. She has Red, she has Fearless, she has 1989, Evermore.
Yeah, aren't her albums like based on like a different stage in her life?
Yeah.
To be honest, there was this one time in Spirit Week when we was asked who was the richest artist, and everyone was saying Beyonce at the time because everyone assumed that. We was all shocked when we found out that Taylor Swift is actually the richest at the moment. And actually she's doing pretty well, if I'm being honest, but I can't blame her because her music is really good.
Yeah.
I honestly do not want to choose one because it's painful for me. Because, like, I grew up listening to Pink, like, gotta get up and try, just give me a reason, those type of things. But,
just give me a reason.
As I got older, like Bad Blood, Blank Space, 22, those songs were just like those songs you can't not love.
Right, and there's also those are kind of like the hallmarks of our childhood.
Yeah, it's like so much nostalgia.
Let me think. Who can I do Whitney Houston against? I don't know because
Beyonce maybe.
I don't think so.
Whitney can outdo Beyonce maybe.
Whitney versus Mariah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had her name, but I couldn't think of it.
I don't. That's really hard because
so
Whitney
hard.
Houston. Both Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey have these.
They have very good vocals.
Yes, exceptional vocals. Like they'll probably be known as two of the best vocalists in musical history, at least Western musical history. But I think their discography is like so varied and vast that I don't think you can really like choose. I feel like they're almost equal in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, how about these two? They're from very different years. BTS versus like, okay, One Direction. I feel like this may have been
BTS
unfair.
versus One Direction.
I feel like this may be unfair, but I'm just gonna do it for the sake of saying it.
You don't know you're beautiful.
I mean, that
One
was
Direction. I
I'm
don't
so
like
lovable.
K-pop in general.
There's just something about that band, and despite the fact that like we know for sure that BTS is never gonna split apart,
Yeah.
simply because
Yeah.
they're just like so compatible with each other. Is
Uh-huh.
we know for a fact that like there won't be another boy band quite as popular with as few members as One Direction. They tried to do it with 5 Seconds of Summer. Within 2 years, they became irrelevant.
Yeah, they only had that one song, like Youngblood.
Yeah.
Although I gotta give it to BTS because they have the same vibe to their music as Heatwave from Glass Animals, and I really love that about their music. And I gotta give points to One Direction because of the fact that was my childhood. That was like long car drive music.
Yeah.
It really was though. But also with BTS, there's like some sort of like redeeming about them because they came from this very small record label, and they're now like
They're
top
huge.
earning boy band in the world.
Okay.
And, they kind of just expanded K-pop in the
Oh
United
yeah,
States.
they're carrying K-pop next to Blackpink at this point.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, absolutely.
Okay, here's something harder. 1900 musics or the 2000 musics?
90s versus 2000. Ooh, this is hard.
Because that was when R&B was still pumping out and well and alive, especially in the 80s. And then you got the 2000s, which you're more like, I don't know how you say it. I guess they're in the class of pop because most of the songs that were like our childhood was not really R&B, but you could mistake it for sometimes.
And then a lot of the like late 90s R&B, you can also kind of just like bleed into the early 2000s, like right up to 2005. So I don't really know. I think I'm gonna have to go 2000s because there's a lot of more songs that I enjoy that are from the 2000s, but you can't also undermine the 90s because that was kind of like a game-changing decade.
Okay, these are some very low-rated. Okay, so how about the country genre music versus techno?
I don't know. I like both of those genres. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Because people been hating on country music for a while.
There's a lot of good country artists. It's just that after 9/11, a lot of the songs, from the era of Johnny Cash, from the era of Conway Twitty, things like that are more autobiographical, kind of went down in popularity after 9/11, and everything became a little more patriotic afterward.
Yeah.
And the term is called bro country. No, I'm not even.
You're kind of making techno better.
Bro country kind of just became the more prevalent of the country music genre, but there's also a lot of good country singers like Maren Morris, Casey Musgraves, Mickey Guyton, Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert.
Okay, since it's almost...
So female country over techno, but like techno over like bro country.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time to leave because we only got like 4 minutes before we have to go to class soon. So I guess that's the end of our first podcast.
Yeah, this is great.
Okay, you can see our first episode on our website link that will be posted later, and we'll come back to you, I guess, in September because it's still busy. We've been a busy month in August.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, see y'all later.
See ya.